Hello traders, I'm Luke from Disciplined Trader. This is just a quick video to talk about the new update to the premium journals. So the premium journals are now on version 1.1. This is the September 2021 update, and I just want to run through quickly what this update will entail. Now, I've been talking to quite a few of you in the comments and obviously all of the current users within the community section for the journals. So most of you will know that the main new feature on this update for these premium journals is the addition of a strategy tracker. So that you can now see on the trade log tab that we have this strategy column. And for each trade that you enter, you can basically select what type of strategy you have used. And this can be completely specific to you. These are just in here as an example. So as with other lists within the trade log, basically all you'll need to do is come to the journal variables section and just enter the names of your different strategies. Any names that you enter in here, for example, new. If I just type in new there and I go back over to the trade log, you can see for the next one that I can now select new as a strategy. So that's how you can use this feature. Now, this doesn't have to be used to track strategies. It can be used to track anything really. You can obviously change this title to whatever you want this to be. And obviously you can then just track whatever input variable you want to track on your trades. And again, you don't have to call this strategy name. You can call it whatever variable you want to track. So that's how you set up the new strategies. Once you've done that, you obviously still have this trade summary tab as you always have, but you've now got a new tab called strategy tracker. So this is very similar to the trade summary tab in a lot of ways, apart from this is mainly focusing on comparing the difference between the strategies that you're using or whatever input variables you are using. So what you can do is you can come to these blue boxes at the top and you can change these to whatever you want to be. So obviously new will be in there now, but you can see that we've taken no trades with the strategy tag of new. So if I put that back to momentum, what it will do is it will look through the trade log and it will see which trades you have entered with these particular strategies, and then it will give you the breakdown for these particular strategies. Now, people who are using this trade log will already know that we do have a scale in and scale out feature on this journal. So as you can see with this trade here, it's got three sections to it. It's got the initial opening portion of the trade, and then we've got two scale in / out portions here. And if you look at the strategy tags, you can see we've used reversal for the main one, reversal for the second one, and then scalping for the third one as far as strategies go. But if we come back over to the strategy tracker, you can see that we've only got one reversal trade tracked and no scalp trades. Now this is because the journal will look at all these three portions of this trade as one trade only, which is obviously how it works in reality. If you're scaling into a trade, these aren't really separate trades, they're all part of the same trade. Now for the purposes of the strategy tracker, if you want to analyze each portion separately, you can do this. What I've done is enable this little box over at the side where it says analyze scale ins and outs separately, and if you toggle this to yes, it will then look at every scale in separately rather than every whole trade separately. So now you can see we've got two reversal trades logged in here and a scalping trade. And if we go back to the log, you can see the only ones with scalp and reversal are these three here. So yes, they're all part of the same trade, but if needs be, you can analyze them separately if you want to. Alternatively, if you just want to analyze the trades as a whole, what it will do is it will take the strategy to be whatever you've detailed on the main trade entry for the log. So that's how that works. Now I know what the next question in regards to the strategy tracker will be is, well, I want to track more than one input. And for now, this was difficult enough to implement that I won't be adding any more inputs to this trade journal. And to be honest, I don't think 99% of people will need to track any more than this. The plan next is to develop basically a backtesting spreadsheet. So it will work probably in a very similar way to how this journal works in the data that it collects and then the data that it provides to you, but there will be way more functionality in regards to the things that you can track rather than just a specific trade log, for example. There'll be loads of different inputs that you can specify and then you can track throughout your backtesting. That will be the plan with that. I've got a very loose framework for it at the moment, so obviously it will take a while to build and develop, but that's the plan with that. And that's why I'm not going to focus too much energy into providing 3 or 4 different trackable inputs within this journal, because the formulas and everything that are within this journal are already complex enough. Particularly adding in this particular function here has been a little bit tricky, adding this into an already built journal. But I have tested it as best I can, and I can't find any flaws with it. So all of these figures work just as they should, breaking down obviously each of the trades with the specific strategy tag. And like I say, you can compare up to 4 different strategies on this page with the 4 different sections. If you don't have 4, it doesn't matter, but the option to have 4 is there. So this strategy tracker feature has been implemented on every version of the journals. So the lots version has its strategy tracker, the shares version has the strategy tracker 2, we've got the spread betting version that has the strategy tracker, and obviously the crypto 2. So this was been able to implemented on all 4 versions of the journal, and obviously all 4 versions of the journal are included when you purchase the journals. And then apart from the strategy tracker, there are a few little quality of life updates. So for example, over on the trade log, the 2 versions of the journal, the shares version, I believe, and the spread betting version will now have this risk limit function within the trade log. Let me get rid of this so you can see it. So this is down to one of our users, Mike, who suggested this be implemented. I think he actually coded it himself in the end, but I've probably done something very similar to what he's done. But essentially, in this box now, you can specify what you want your upper limit risk to be on any trade. And what the journal will do is it will notify you if you enter a trade that is above this limit of your account. So for example, let's say I'm taking this exact same trade. I'll just copy these cells down. And then I'm going to trade at £50 a point. As soon as it knows my stop loss level, so let's say it's exactly the same, this will flash yellow. And all this means is you need to review this position size because you are well over, or not well over, but you are over your risk limit. So it knows that you're over your 3% risk limit on this trade from these 2 figures. So obviously now we can now be like, oh, okay, maybe I should be trading at £5 a point, and the yellow light will go away to indicate that this is a safe position size for you to be trading at, given that the limit that you've set up in this top box. So the only 2 versions I could implement this on is the spread betting version, and the shares version has it as well. The crypto and lots version don't have it, simply because the journal has no way of knowing how much you've risked until you give it a monetary figure once you've closed the trade. So before entering a trade, there's no way of the journal knowing, because it can't know all of the prices, the market prices before you enter a trade. So yeah, this lots version and the crypto version don't have the risk feature, but the shares and the spread bet do. Another quality of life fix that I've made is to do with the running account balance. So what a few people were finding is that, let's take this trade here, for example, this pound-euro trade here. If I delete the closing details for it, a lot of people were finding that the account balance wasn't updating because the journal's waiting for you to close the trade. And then if you take trades after this trade that isn't closed yet, the account balance wouldn't enter down, and you were just getting sort of errors within these cells, and the rest of the data wasn't populating. So what I've done now is added to the code so that it's looking to see if the trade has been closed, and if it hasn't, just carrying that account balance down to the next trade. Now this won't affect your trades going forward. So for example, look, you can still enter trades afterwards. These just change to pending rather than errors, and the account balance is carried down. And then when you do actually enter in your closing details, it will just re-amend the values afterwards, if that makes sense. That seems to be the best way I could find to do it without it affecting anything too much. So all your figures and calculations will now process even if you've got open trades previously that you haven't closed yet for whatever reason. Let's say they're particularly long trades, you might have day trades and swing trades in this log, for example, and closing the swing trades might take a month or so, and so obviously you're going to have closed trades after that. This will no longer be a problem because the journal knows to just ignore the open trades and carry the account balance down. So that's now fixed. Another quality of life update that I've made is just with the planned R rate return. You can see because I haven't entered a take profit price, we're now getting prompts to do so. So let's say I entered 1.19 in there. That will then give us our planned R rate for return. And again, if I haven't entered a stop loss price, it will tell me to do this. This is just rather than giving you like weird error messages. This will now just give you little prompts within this box as what you need to do. Just remove some of the confusion around using the trade log. And the last fix is just on the trade summary page. So I'd actually noticed that it was these figures here weren't actually calculating correctly. They were coming out with the wrong value. So I've now fixed that. So what I would usually say with these updates is if you're not bothered about the little extra features that have been added, then obviously don't worry about moving all your data over to these new spreadsheets. You can just stick with the old ones. But in this case, because I know that these figures will be wrong, I would recommend just updating to the new version of the journals if you are using the premium journals already, because now you'll be getting the actual correct values within here. And that's pretty much it. The rest of these journals are exactly the same as they have been. The dashboard and everything still works as normal. We've got the position size calculator. The trade log is still as easy as ever to complete. And what I will do for existing users of this journal, I'll be putting a short video within the tutorial section in the community section just to show you how to move all your data over to an updated version of these journals without causing any issues. It'll only take you a minute or two. Trade summary page, exactly the same as before, apart from this minor fix to this calculation. Strategy tracker is the brand new page that we've talked through today. Graph analysis, exactly the same. And journal variables have just been added to with our strategy feature. And as I've said before, anything that you need to do within the journals, they can all be found within the journal tutorial section on the journal community section of the website. There's a host of just very short little tutorial videos here to do with the journals. Anything that you want to do on the journals, you can find it in here. And like I say, what I'll do is we'll add an extra video to this playlist just to show you how to move all your data over to any new updated versions of the journal so that you don't then have issues when you've updated. So yeah, that's the 1.1 September 21 update to the premium journals. I'm sure you'll find the extra features within the journal extremely useful. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And again, as always, if you do have any future updates you'd like to see in these, you can let me know in the community section for the journals. And if we get enough people wanting these features, then I'll look to implement them in further updates. So thanks for watching, traders. I'll see you next time.